Hello students, welcome to the class of SSC. Today we are going to talk about our civics third chapter, the Union Legislature. So students, as you know, in the previous chapters we discussed about the India has a multiple levels of government. We learned about local government and state government in your previous classes. So this year we will learn about the union or central, or we can say national government. The union government, like the state government, consists of three organs, which one in which that first one is legislature, second is executive, and third is the judiciary. As the union legislature, also known as the parliament, so in this chapter we will look at the union legislature. So now we are going to talk about the structure of the union government, or we can say three branches of the government. So under that, first is the legislative. So what is the work of legislative? Its work is to make laws. And under the legislative, there are the we can say under the parliament there is a unicameral and bicameral. Unicameral means where is the one house in the parliament, and bicameral where is the two houses in the parliament. So under the executive, its work is to administrators the laws, means it will work for the execution of the laws. And under that, head of the state is the president, and head of the government is prime minister, and under the prime minister there are some cabinet ministers. Third branch is the judiciary, means judicial power. So what is the work of judiciary? It works to interpret laws, and under that some courts are there, like magistrate courts, high courts, supreme courts. So this was the structure of the union legislature. And except these two, like executive and judiciary, in this chapter we will discuss about the work of the legislature. As we discuss in this slide about the three branches of the government, so in this chapter we will completely discuss about only the work of the legislature of the parliament. So under the union legislature there is a three parts consist. One is the president, second is the Lok Sabha, and third is the Rajya Sabha. So as you can see in the next slide, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there are the two houses in the parliament. So that is why Indian parliament is called a bicameral. So there is a two houses. First is the Lok Sabha, second is Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper house and it called the Council of States. Same as it is Lok Sabha, which is known as the lower house of the parliament, and it is also known as the house of the people. Now, the term of the Lok Sabha is for 5 years, and Lok Sabha can be dissolved earlier by the president. As well as Rajya Sabha term is for 6 years, but that house is called a permanent house, which means it cannot be dissolved like the Lok Sabha. 1/3 of members from the Rajya Sabha retired every 2 years. Next, we are going to talk about a composition, means what kind of the members are there in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So, under the Rajya Sabha, there is a maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. But out of this 238 members represents the states and UTs, and 12 citizens are nominated by the president, and that persons belongs to the art, literature, science services and social services. At present, Rajya Sabha has 245 members, same as it is Lok Sabha. Under Lok Sabha, the maximum members of the Lok Sabha is 552. Out of this, 530 members represents the states, 20 members from UTs, and 2 members are Anglo-Indians, and that are nominated by the president. Next, we will talk about the presiding officer, means who are leading the meetings of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So, under the Rajya Sabha, the Vice President of India is presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha, and in the Lok Sabha, the presiding officers is the Speaker. Now next we are going to talk about the elections of the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and from this slide you can see the part of second part, elections of members. So under the Lok Sabha, the members of Lok Sabha are elected by the citizens of the country during the elections. The country is divided into 543 constituencies for the purpose of elections, and which candidate winning the great number of votes become the member of parliament, and which party wins the majority is invited to form the government. If there is a no majority, two or more parties may come together to form a coalition government. And under the Rajya Sabha, the members of Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected by the members of legislative assemblies of the states. And rest of the sections we have already discussed. Next, we are going to talk about the qualification of the candidate, or we can say the eligibility. So, to become the members of Lok Sabha, a candidate must be a citizen of India, not less than 25 years of age, and their name is registered as the electorate, and candidate should not be criminal. So, the eligibility of the Rajya Sabha, same like the Lok Sabha, the person must be a citizen of India. His age not less than 30 years. He must possess such other qualifications as may be prescribed in that behalf by or order under any law made by Parliament, and must not be an undischarged insolvent. Means the person should not be criminal. Now our next topic is parliamentary and presidential forms of government. So under that, first of all, we are going to discuss about the parliamentary form of government, which means under that system, the head of the state is elected indirectly, and their role play is nominal, meaning they have no real power. Actual power rests in the hands of the executive, which consists of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The executive is chosen by the legislature and is answerable to it. In this system, each of the organs of the government is accountable to the other two organs. The power of executive is held in check by legislature and judiciary. The legislature can, if needed, dissolve the executive. Under the presidential system, on the other hand, the executive is headed by the president, who is elected directly by the people. The president therefore has a great power, and three organs of the government are completely independent of each other, and none of them can dissolve any of other organs. As we can discuss about the parliamentary and presidential form of government, so let me tell you, in India we are following the parliamentary system of government. So students, with this our topic has completed. I hope you all understand. Thank you very much.